Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the McFarlane Toys Walking Dead TV series Deputy Rick Grimes figure. Now, I did just find these guys. I actually got them for Christmas, but I did find them in Toys R Us shortly before that. And he looks fantastic here in packaging. I'm definitely loving the way they've designed these packages where they've got the Walking Dead logo over here, and you can see him over here. You can see all his gear. He's got a walkie-talkie, a grenade, a revolver, a bat, a shotgun that may actually be a reused shotgun from the comic series, and his handgun. On the back of the packaging here, very similar design to the comic series ones. You can see all the zombies and all the gear each figure comes with. However, whoever wrote the read-up for Rick's equipment doesn't know guns, because he wrote 2 revolvers. He comes with 1 revolver and an automatic, and he also wrote rifle, and that's a shotgun. But no big whoop about that. I will say this, by finding them in stores, I'm really glad I didn't get the zombies, because those zombies were crap. Now, the comic series zombies were fantastic. They had action features, but they were really neat action features. Body parts pulled off, you know, the entire figure like it was decayed and rotted. This one has a moving jaw, and it looks like very little articulation. This one, you can't see it here, has those huge, clunky plastic bits on it, and it's actually a wind-up toy. I'm not paying $15 for a wind-up toy. But enough about that. This guy looks awesome. Let's open him up. And here we have Rick out of the packaging. Now, I swapped out the handgun in his hand for the revolver in his hand, or as the package would have you believe, a revolver for revolver. Now, in case you didn't pick up any of the comic series line, this is a 5-inch scale line. Quick comparison, here's a Boba Fett from the Star Wars Vintage line on a base. He's roughly a 3 3/4 inch figure, a little closer to 4 inches with a base, and you can see there, pretty close to Rick. A more standard 6-inch figure. What I have on hand is the Arkham City Joker, knocking Rick over. Joker always up to no good. Come on, Rick, stand. And you can kind of see there, he's a kind of stair-stepping there with the figures. And there's not a lot of figure lines out there that have been made in 5-inch in general. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any, but I don't really see why McFarlane stakes such a bizarre claim with the 5-inch line. I mean, I would have easily bought a couple of the comic series zombies to go in other sets had they not been 5 inches. I mean, I was just really hoping for a bigger scale. Now, Rick's a nice looking figure. They have got him in this kind of permanent little stance here, and he does get a little top heavy, but as you can see, you can pose him in a stance just fine. And they've really done a nice job of detail on this guy. He looks a lot like Rick from the TV show. The outfit's fantastic. You can see his badge, his shirt's dirty. He's got a Sheriff's Department logo over here. I got his handgun over here in the holster. I think it's meant for the revolvers. You can see it's clearly not fitting well. Really nice detail on his pants, and he's got some dirty boots on. So fantastic detail as always. Now let's get him standing back up here. As far as his accessories, let's see. He's got his walkie-talkie, which is once again very nicely detailed. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't actually able to clip onto his belt. That would have been a nice touch, but no. His bat, just a generic little accessory. And a grenade, which it's actually got a little silver detailing on the pin there. But for the life of me, I can't remember Rick using a grenade in the TV show, so kind of seems superfluous. And his shotgun, which is a nice little accessory, but I'm not 100% sure if it's just like the other shotgun that came with the comic series Rick. We'll get a comparison in there in a few minutes, or a few seconds. Now let's see how he holds his gear here. The shotgun fits kind of awkwardly, but it can be put in his hands here. You get off my property, I'll kill you. I live a couple of hours from where Walking Dead's filmed, and it's just hilarious to make all these, to see how they make it look so rural in some parts. They're like, oh, Atlanta, big city. We're not rednecks. The baseball bat. Once again, I can't remember Rick using a baseball bat, but that may just be me overlooking something. It fits kind of awkwardly. It's kind of loose in this hand, but in this hand, yeah, this hand's not really meant to be holding much. It's just kind of an open hand meant to. They really are in favor of that kind of him cradling his pistol hand pose, I can tell. Now, as far as articulation, Rick goes left and right at the head. Looks like a full 360 if you want to fight it. He's got a little nod going on there. His arms are on a ball joint, on a ratchet, much like the Walking Dead Series 1 Rick. Ball joint, they spin, do some left and right down here at the sleeve, single joint at the elbow, spin at the wrist, and actually also hinged at the wrist, which is nice. No main torso articulation whatsoever. Also a lot lacking in the legs. He spins at the quadriceps, no movement whatsoever in the upper legs. Has a single jointed knee and some slight ankle movement. So I'm not surprised that with the McFarlane figure I've got a... Oh, before I forget, we'll show his handgun. Once again, some nice detail on it. I'm not surprised that we got a figure that has pretty much one pose they're in favor of, and even though he got a lot of accessories, only the ones that are really meant to work with that pose are the ones that stay really well in his hands. So that's not exactly horrifying to me. I mean, I've bought McFarlane figures before. Go back and buy a classic Movie Maniacs. If you don't like the way it looks in the packaging, screw you. Because that's what you're getting. Having a little bit of trouble getting his hand back here. Now, I was surprised he didn't come with his cowboy hat. A removable cowboy hat would have definitely been a plus in my book. Now let's actually get a comparison in here to the comic series Rick, which, his shotgun fell out. One moment, folks. Hey guys, quick comparison. Rick's shotgun is completely new to him. I've compared it to the other shotguns, and while they are pretty close, of course, comic series Rick came with a ton of shotguns. A lot of them are very similar, but none of them are exactly the same. So that's nice that he got at least a completely new one, which is always great. So moving on. Now here we have both Ricks out of packaging and side by side. And as you can see, they're pretty much exactly the same size. Both have got a kind of awkward stance going on, so they might be a little bit off as far as their actual height. Now, both of these figures have some pretty good hits and misses. I love the detail and overall presentation on this Rick while he didn't hold his guns for crap, and I really didn't like the stance he was at. This Rick's detail, as far as being a little more realistic, is far better. But at the end of the day, they're two different figures. I mean, Rick in the comics doesn't look exactly like Rick in the show, and I think they both represent their source material well. I can't really say if you're going to get one and which one to go for, because I like them both. This one, you know, had his problems, so does this guy. But at the end of the day, they're both solid figures, so we'll put him back off to the side here. Now, the Walking Dead TV series Rick, I found at Toys R Us. Well, I was given for Christmas. I found him at Toys R Us later. But, when the comic series came out, Toys R Us had the nerve to charge like $18 and change for the figures, which is way too much for a 5-inch figure. These showed up at my Toys R Us for $15. Well, $14.99, but, you know. So, I still think that's too much for a 5-inch figure, and I'm kind of sick of how Toys R Us is getting the nerve to charge us all these scalper fees. But I really do like this guy at the end of the day. I'm loving the Walking Dead TV series, although it does take forever to get anything done. So if you like the show, I definitely recommend picking this guy up. He comes with some pretty decent accessories, although he can't hold too many of them. This shotgun will probably go in the Comic Rick satchel, so he'll have even more shotguns in there. And that being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.